welcome to Synthaholics. This is your host, David Duncan, and with me is...
Brian. Hello, David. How you doing today, man?
Doing good. How about you, man?
Oh, 10 out of 10. Always doing the best.
10 out of 10. Brian's always a solid 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm always solid 10 out of 10. What are you, 10 out of 10?
Almost never, but
That's just the answer. What are you out of 10? Almost never that.
Almost never 10 out of 10, but almost nothing out of 10,
So, normally I start off the news. The news are the things we find interesting. I'm going to pin it on you, boy.
Pin it
what do you
on
got,
me.
man?
Oh,
I know you got something.
Yeah, I do have something. Cooking. I've got some awful, terrible news this week for people of the Bethesda persuasion of the video game variety. Starfield, the upcoming sci-fi space opera by Bethesda Game Studios, has been delayed into 2023. Todd Howard told me himself that date of 11/22/22 was carved, or 11/11/22
ink
was carved in ink and stone, and apparently
not pencil,
But apparently, it's erasable ink.
It was erasable ink. He got you with the erasable ink. He got one of those erasers.
He got one of those erasable ink pens. I used to use those because my handwriting was so bad back in grade school. So yeah, I'm a little bit devastated by that. That's what I was looking forward to play through November, December, and January of this year going into next year. Now looks like I'll still be playing Satisfactory.
So I guess we can just crown. Even though Elden Ring is not a game really that you or I prefer, it won Game of the Year. There's nothing's going to beat it now. That's what won.
Yeah. Elden Ring is for sure one. Poor Horizon. It always comes out right before a game that overshadows it. The first one came out right before Breath of the Wild, and this one came out right before Elden Ring. So.
Bad releases on their part.
They are just like plagued by what's the worst date we could put out our game?
Let's compete against the games that will do the best.
Yeah, even though their games are good. I mean, the Guerrilla makes great games. The back in the day, the Killzone games are pretty good.
Well, yeah, anybody who's ever played Horizon, and
Horizon.
I've talked to about it, have always said it's a good game. I like the game. Very good game.
Very good game.
But they just can't compete against. I don't really know if any franchise can compete against Zelda at this point. Is there anything I wouldn't, if I was making a game, I would not put something the same release.
Let's put Elden Ring 2 up against
put
Zelda.
Those two together. Those are two good. Those
are
two to put together. But other than that, I can't think of anything that is bigger than Zelda nowadays.
Street Fighter. Put Street Fighter up against Zelda.
That's not gonna. I mean, Street Fighter would win if there was a fight. But
they'll put up the Dukes. They'll do it.
The Dukes. Well, yeah, there's our sad Bethesda news. I can't say I'm surprised. I know you're a little bit more surprised than I was.
I mean, they've with Fallout 76 and Fallout 4, they have not showed gameplay for either one of those until 5-6 months before launch, which meant we were supposed to be getting this summer some gameplay footage of Starfield, and that may.
I think we're gonna get gameplay during E3, or I guess E3's canceled. Microsoft is still doing a press conference right around the time E3 is. I think it's June 13th. I think they're having a press conference. Microsoft is, and Bethesda's going to be there. So,
but are they going to show off Starfield? Or are they just going to show off?
I mean, they got to show. I mean, come on, man. We have almost next to nothing. We still have almost next to nothing. The game's supposed to come out, or was supposed to come out in a couple months.
Maybe Bethesda has almost nothing.
Yeah, that's still funny though. So, for those still listening, Phil Spencer went to the Bethesda studios, guess to just tour, visit, see what's going on, because I guess he's like the overlord of them now. And then 2 days later, Starfield was delayed. So I'm assuming Phil Spencer or Microsoft and team.
Phil Spencer came in with a can of whiteout.
Yeah, he saw what they had for Starfield, and he was like, they probably were just like, no, Because that's what had to happen, right? I can't like Microsoft or Xbox goes to visit Bethesda, and then 2 days later they're like delayed.
Absolutely, that was not Bethesda's choice. That could not have been Bethesda's choice. He really likes the 11 release date. Skyrim came out on 11/11/11. Like I feel like Fallout came out on like something close to that. Like he likes 11 in the release date, November 11th.
Maybe they'll do 1/1/1. Or no, they can just do 1/1. What about 23? Oh no, that'd be a year.
It's probably gonna be like I think they said first quarter, so it's probably be end of first quarter. So I'm thinking like March.
Well, they got to be careful because that's when Zelda's supposed to come out. Don't go against Zelda, man. That's how you lose money. Make it 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I guess maybe I don't know. It's just disappointing. I mean, I definitely see that happening, and it's kind of nice that Phil Spencer's making like Bethesda. You finish your game. Don't make your fans finish the game. Don't make them fix the bugs. So hopefully, this is a positive. It will be a positive improvement.
Yeah. Well, Phil Spencer also seems like he's a good guy. And the older not the older I get, I guess the more dealing with we have with Todd Howard, he kind of seems like a con artist at this point. he's a cult. He's like super charismatic, and he always lies.
No, he's literally a cult leader.
Yeah, he pretty much is a cult leader.
Praise
at this point.
the Howard.
That's pretty much what he's become. But it's like Phil Spencer, he seems to like be okay. I like Phil Spencer. I've seen interviews and stuff. He seems like a cool guy. Todd Howard, however, though, lost a lot of faith for this guy over the past couple of years. It just works.
Fancy shows.
Yeah, that.
The girlfriend review song. I don't remember either.
But yeah.
Oh. Man. You
that's
got
our
news.
Starfield.
You get news.
Yeah. Avatar trailer. There was an Avatar trailer in Doctor Strange.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, there was.
No.
It was. Yeah, there was. There was, and there was no dialogue.
That's why. That's why there was no trailer. There was zero dialogue.
Well, there was a little bit. Like I don't remember what they said, but like the visuals look cool, and that's all I wanted to point out. Visuals look cool.
I mean, they look good in the first one. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
I just wanted to bring that to light because I'm an Avatar fan. If I have an opportunity or a pedestal to like stand on where I can talk about Avatar, I'm gonna bring up Avatar.
Must bring up Avatar. We'll go see it. We'll talk about it this December. But
yeah, there's not much more to say about this. I just wanted to bring that up.
Well,
I do have another piece.
I mean, you were talking to me earlier this week, about how like people just seem so angry that it's even coming out.
Oh yeah, no, I don't get that, but I don't know. I don't know why. I still don't understand exactly the reason why people are upset that it's coming out. I don't know. It's taking too long, maybe.
I mean, I think the length of time has been a really long time. It's had very little cultural impact. Like no one references Avatar. Really, like no one really talks about it. Like people, it's like people forgot about it. It's like I barely, if we didn't talk about it all the time, I would have probably forgotten that it exists.
It's just me. I'm like the one fan for Avatar that's still standing. It's like every couple of weeks, hey man, like we want to talk about Avatar.
Well, we also watched the Papyrus SNL.
Oh yeah, that keeps it going
over and
the
over.
The spice
and
keeps
over
flowing
again.
with the Avatar.
Yeah, gotta have the spice. Oh, speaking of spice, is that what
that led me into my next?
Is that your other piece of news?
Yeah. Christopher Walken is the Emperor in Dune Part 2.
Oh, I can't wait. That's like the best casting news I've heard all day.
The spice must flow.
Must flow. I will stab you.
It must flow.
With a soldering iron.
But yeah, I think that's a good... I mean, he's kind of like a walking meme, Christopher Walken. But like, he does have acting chops. There's certain movies he's been in where... he's not playing like this ridiculous character, so hopefully he'll do good.
Well, Christopher Walken playing himself is enough for me. I'm up for Christopher Walken.
Don't even have him play the Emperor. Just have him be himself.
Well, I mean that's one of the things. Like Christopher Walken doesn't really act. He delivers lines and he delivers them well as Christopher Walken. So I mean, like I don't really care. I like he may not be in like the best movies, but his parts are always the best parts of movies.
I am the best part of a movie.
I mean, like,
I can't talk like him.
yeah, his talking is great. I mean, like, I don't know if you know this, Brian, but way back when, like, Christopher Walken was up for the running of Han Solo. I want to go to the multiverse where Christopher Walken
is this another?
was
Is this
Han
another
Solo.
like? That's a good tie-in onto the main topic. We're going to go to the multiverse of Christopher Walken.
Yeah, I want to go to the multiverse where Christopher Walken was Han Solo, and then I want to go to the other universe. Maybe it's the same one where Aaron Gray of Buck Rogers fame played Captain Janeway in Star Trek Voyager, because Aaron Gray is a beautiful woman, and I would have loved to see her in Voyager. And
boy.
maybe Captain Aaron Gray might have been Captain Marvel. And then we'd have a third Star Trek captain on the Illuminati, because we've got Captain
we haven't
Pike.
got that far yet. We can't talk about the Illuminati
The
yet.
Illuminati.
We haven't got that far.
Okay, we'll talk about the Illuminati later.
Yeah, the Illuminati will come up in momentarily. Please hold. Now, I guess onto the main course,
The main event.
big meal, the main event.
So
The Mother's Day movie, Doctor Strange.
Oh no! This is a Scarlet Witch wants her kids, featuring America Chavez and Doctor Strange. Like Doctor
That
Strange
too.
is further down on the pedestal in this movie. I don't know, like a movie with his name's in the title, but he feels like the least important of the characters in the movie, except for maybe Wong.
Wong is pretty cool. Anyway, first, before we get into it.
I like Wong.
But, hold on. David, ratings. Sam
Ratings.
Raimi's Doctor Strange. Where are you putting it on the pedestal of? We're talking about a lot of pedestals today. Where do you get it out of 10?
I'd have to
Ooh,
say.
Deep think.
I
Deep thought.
was thinking, because I really don't trust Sam Raimi, or I didn't after Spider-Man 2 and 3. I was expecting to give this movie like a 5, because I don't like Sam Raimi. I'm going to give it like a 7.5. Like, it was okay, but again, like all the other Marvel movies we've been doing, you can't rate them anymore based on their own merit, because there's the greater universe. And when the movies like are not building the greater universe like you're expecting to from phase 1, 2, and 3, I don't know really what their end game is anymore. I mean, Loki is the only one that actually has given us anything for like what the future holds.
Khan, he's the next big bad, right? It's Kang the Conqueror.
Kang
yeah.
the Conqueror. But like we've had zero references to Kang outright in any of the movies. Not in Black Widow, not in Spider-Man, not in Doctor Strange. Like it's just.
Yeah, I would have thought the ending credits for this one would have had something with that, since Doctor Strange is so like, out there compared to like Shang-Chi.
Oh, and they went through the multiverse, and this would have directly correlated back to Loki, because the whole time authority is there to stop incursions from happening. And, they talked about how there's an incursion that happened and, in this movie. So, I mean,
Sure.
I was hoping there'd be that, but I guess there's an incursion reference, but I don't know. Like,
Sure.
the world building is lacking now. Even back in phase 1, 2, and 3, not every movie was great, but every single movie was building toward that showdown with Thanos in some way. Usually, it was like introducing characters and building up, or there was like a Thanos teaser at the end of a lot of the movies. There was like something happening in the background, something big, and nothing seems to be big happening in the background. We know it's supposed to be Kang, but we're not seeing it. So I don't know. I have to give this movie like a. It was better than I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't as good as Doctor Strange 1, I don't think. And also, Doctor Strange and his magic, it was cool, but I don't know. It wasn't as like mind-bendingly interesting to look at as the first movie, because a lot of it was done was Wanda and chaos magic. Which, it's still cool, but not like Doctor Strange cool. So I don't know.
Doctor Strange cool.
What do you think?
Well, I'm gonna give it 7.5 to 8, somewhere in there. I really like Doctor Strange. I thought I think this is the best Marvel movie that's come out this year for me at least. I like this more than Spider-Man. Spider-Man. I mean, we've had our hash-ins with Spider-Man, but I just felt like the world in Spider-Man was just empty. It just felt like it was Spider-Man fighting Spider-Man and other Spider-Man characters. Like in this world, it starts off right at the start where Doctor Strange is at a wedding, and immediately there's just people all over the place. There's people walking the streets. There's people like in buildings. Spider-Man, like it felt like an empty New York City to me. So for that, I liked it more. But also, I like Wanda was really cool. She like we finally got to see Wanda like go all out, like
power.
fully like
Yeah.
comic level power. Like she's not like most of the movies, all the movies she's been in up until like really WandaVision.
Any of the movies, yeah.
Yeah, she's always been shown to not really be that strong when it's always been in the comics that she's like one of the strongest characters in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, she's up there with Phoenix or whatever, you know?
Yeah, so she got a little chance here. My problem now is that I'm not sure she's really redeemable. I feel like she's just a villain now. I don't really like. She keeps bouncing back and forth, but like,
I think she redeemed herself at the very last little bit.
Yeah, but it's like she redeemed herself after she took over a town. It's like, okay, now she took over a town, and now they're released again, and now she's trying to destroy all the multiverse, and she's like, oh, never mind, I'm just kidding. It's like, do you really trust her at this point? Like, if she was a real person with real powers in our real life, are you like, yeah, she's cool, I trust her? I'd be terrified of her. It doesn't matter what she says. All she wants, she has like a mental health issue with these kids that don't exist.
She needs some hardcore counseling. And
I don't know, like I wouldn't want to be around her. That's just me. She goes on a rampage.
But what if she was hopped up on lithium the entire time? Would you want to be around her then?
Oh boy. I mean, what?
I mean, like, okay, like, I mean, she didn't say anything that makes me want to believe her, but they said, I mean, like, this is obviously Synthaholics, who spoil everything all the time at the very beginning, but speaking of her as a redeemable character, she destroyed the Darkhold, which we'll get into what it is later, in every single universe. So that's a pretty good thing, I guess. I mean, it's basically the only good act she did in the entire film, and she destroyed it across all universes. So I mean, that's pretty cool for her to do. I mean, that's not a bad thing to do. You know what I mean?
So sure, she destroyed the Darkhold. Great. It's no longer in any of the universes, but that character, her personality, her like being still went to like Doctor Strange's like home and literally slaughtered everybody there. Like she killed like 200 people in like 5 minutes. Like that's not a good guy. That's not a good guy there. I just want my 2 kids that don't exist, so I'm gonna kill 500 people.
Well, my biggest problem with this movie is that the plot is way too similar to Shang-Chi.
You got Shang-Chi out of this?
Yeah, it's Shang-Chi's dad wants his wife back, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get his wife back, and this is Wanda doing whatever it takes to get her kids back.
Oh yeah, I get it. Maybe I'm just comparing these like power levels. Like for at least going forward, Shang-Chi feels like not even a superhero.
Oh yeah. I'm not getting like that power. I'm just talking about the story. The story is exactly Shang-Chi's story. Although
it is similar.
If I had to pick between them, I would watch Doctor Strange over and over again versus Shang-Chi, because the first half of Shang-Chi was pretty solid. Second half is not good at all. This movie is a solid, enjoyable movie through and through, from beginning to end. It was fun enough. It definitely feels like a Halloween movie. It definitely feels like a Sam Raimi Evil Dead movie more than it does a Marvel movie.
Well, we should talk about how this is the first Marvel movie that I can think that's in the MCU. There's other Marvel movies, but this is the first one in like the MCU that's a little bit darker. I think this is the darkest MCU movie. Like I was getting Carrie vibes from Wanda at certain points.
Oh, I mean, she was going full on like Demon Hag from Evil Dead. Like I mean, there was full on like shots from Evil Dead in this film.
Yeah, I mean, if I had kids that were like big MCU fans and they were like out of like 8, I'm not sure I'd really like. I feel like this would scare an 8-year-old.
I don't know. Like I'm torn. I've heard a lot of people say that this is like too scary for kids, but at the same time, I was like watching this movie. I'm like, it's not as scary as people saying it was. I mean, there was a couple like jumpish scares, but like all the jump scares were pretty telegraphed.
Yeah, but you and me aren't gonna get affected really by a jump scare.
I mean, I guess. But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I feel like in movies, like even in horror movies, a lot of jump scares are also like super telegraphed. It's not like they don't like come out of nowhere. It's like it's coming. It's just when is it gonna come?
And then it makes the noise.
Yeah. It's more like the sharp increase in volume with the image that's scary versus like the image itself. I don't. It's a psychological thing.
Let's break down the plot a little bit here because we kind of are jumping all over the place. Yeah, it's not okay. It is Shang-Chi, but basically, Wanda. We didn't because we haven't explained who America Chavez is. Wanda wants to find this girl who I liked her character. She was cool. I didn't know who she was before. America Chavez, who has the ability to travel the multiverse. So pretty much the first act is Wanda summons like demons or whatever to try to get and capture America Chavez, who could travel through multiverses. Mm-hmm. Doctor Strange intervenes, and he's like, "Hey, I don't want this to happen. I don't want you guys to stop this."
He looks like Shuma Gorath from Marvel vs. Capcom.
A little bit, but then Doctor Strange goes and talks to Wanda to just say like, "Hey, what the heck's going on? I need your help," and that doesn't go well. And that's where we get to where she's getting her power from. If you want to explain this book that she destroyed, what it does.
The Darkhold, yeah, it's basically like a bunch of witch power. It's with the book she found at the end of WandaVision that kind of unlocked her Scarlet Witchdom. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just got a bunch of like evil spells, and there's an antithesis to this book, which is kind of like the MacGuffin for the movie until they just like, decide it's not a MacGuffin anymore and they destroy it for as soon as they get to it. So they don't even get to use what this cool book is. I wanted to see what the good book did, but no.
I did. So the Darkhold has an opposite side, opposite book. I get, but I don't remember what it was called.
The opposite book only exists in one universe. I don't remember what it is either, and it doesn't matter because it just gets destroyed.
It was the place in between. The book was in the place in between multiverses. They said that it was like it's not in one multiverse, it's not in another. It's like the in between. That's what that lander, what that like land or planet or plane, whatever that is. When they opened there's a vault they open and they go into like this floating, like. I don't know what that place is called.
It's
where
just
the
like
book is.
The end of time or whatever. It's just like the floating stuff.
Yeah, so there's just stuff floating around. That's where the one book is. It's like in an in-between place. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why there's only one of them. But the main thing what the Darkhold does is you can dream walk. And you can take over an alternate version of yourself in other universes. Mm-hmm. And that's what Wanda pretty much does to cause problems for the most part.
Well, first she used the Darkhold to send demons to chase people through the universe, and then after she attacks Carmitage, since Doctor Strange doesn't give her America, then she starts going after them herself because not going after herself was her being reasonable because it was a less
fair. She was reasonable. She was being reasonable by sending a demon. That is reasonable.
It's the lesser threat because her herself is a much bigger threat. Which, I mean, end is the same, but
yeah, it's still the same. But so after they have a little fight there, they start traveling the multiverse because of America gets scared. That's the only way she knows how to use her abilities at this point in the movie is she just gets scared and a portal that looks like a star opens behind her. And they fly through this, which I want to briefly talk about is the transitions of this movie. A lot of them are really cool. Mm-hmm. There's I don't know if you noticed them, but like there's certain like at the beginning when they're fighting the octopus monster. I don't know what it's called. But America's on top of like the building, and Doctor Strange goes up there.
Gorath.
Yeah, Shuma Gorath, whatever that is.
It's the tentacle monster from Marvel vs. Capcom. I mean,
that's right. I keep forgetting the name.
It's supposed to be something different from all the videos I've watched about it, but it looks exactly like Shuma Gorath. Yeah,
but so when they're on top of this building, Doctor Strange does his portal thing, and they kind of do a cool transition just walking through the portal. There was a lot of these little cool transitions that they used. Mm-hmm. And going through the multiverse, when they kind of dove through with Doctor Strange and America into the multiverse. They went through a lot of different universes, and I thought those looked really cool. I'm sure I'm sure everybody thought that. I don't think I'm the only one.
Oh yeah,
is that fair to say?
Yeah, I want to live in the Paint universe. That sounds fun.
Yeah, there's the Paint universe. Sure there was like a Black Noir universe, like a futuristic universe. Like that was really cool. The ones that they went through. They landed on a 818 or planet 818 or something like that.
Universe 818. Which
is
Universe
818,
the one where the Illuminati exists. I think in Marvel lore, that's like where they've taken care of all the big bad guys, and they're kind of overlooking the multiverse, which sucks because they don't last very long as this ultimate crew. Like they're like the super Avengers basically,
and they're not weak. They're not. So this is my favorite part of the movie is when they kind of get to the Illuminati chamber. When they're all in Doctor Strange's house, I think. Or some building that's Doctor Strange's house, and now America Chavez and Doctor Strange are in Universe 818 after Wanda attacks him. She wasn't able to follow them, so she starts setting up portals, or she starts setting up like her dream walking through the Darkhold. Yeah. Well, Doctor Strange and America are kind of getting acclimated to what's going on around them,
and they find the Bruce Campbell cameo.
The Bruce Campbell cameo.
I was really hoping he would be like a hero and not just like a hot dog pizza ball vendor.
He's a pizza ball guy
who sprays mustard on himself. I was really hoping he would be like one of the Illuminati.
He's not. He's just Bruce Campbell who punches himself because Doctor Strange uses a spell on him.
Poor Bruce Campbell.
They get poisoned in Doctor Strange's house
by Mordo from the first movie.
Yeah, well, sort of an alternate version of
version from Mordo. Yeah.
Yeah. Doctor Strange is looking for himself in Universe 818. Doesn't find him because he is dead.
He saved the world from Thanos. Yay!
Yeah. So after they're poisoned, they finally get to meet the Illuminati. David, tell us about the Illuminati. What are your thoughts about all the characters?
Well, we got Reed Richards, Elasto-Man from the Fantastic Four, which dies in a fantastic way. We've got Captain Marvel, who has a statue fall on her, and that kills her for some reason that doesn't make any sense. We've got Professor X, who's also Captain of the Enterprise, and Picard, as Jean-Luc Picard. So we got one Enterprise captain there. He is Professor X, who has his 90s cartoon X-Men chair, and they also play like a one bar of that music from that X-Men intro, which was pretty cool. He dies from a head snapping while he's inside Wanda's head. And Mordo, we've got Black Bolt. Black Bolt, who's also a captain of Enterprise. He's Captain Pike, and he gets Neo'd and blows his own head up. I just wonder. Yeah. I just feel like that's a metaphor for the Inhumans, because that show just did not go very well. They just shot themselves. They just blew themselves up. And then we also had Captain Carter, who cuts herself in half with her own shield. So
she's fun. Captain America. And
she's Captain Britain. She's Captain Britain.
Oh yeah, Captain Britain.
No, she looks Captain Carter is what her name.
Well, I mean, she's wearing the British flag stuff instead of the American flag stuff.
She's not American.
Yeah. So Doctor Strange comes in here, finds out the truth. His Doctor Strange, or himself in this universe, actually dies to Black Bolt because he's got too powerful and stopped listening. I don't know exactly why they killed him. It was kind of just
apparently he was meddling with the multiverse, and they were scared he would cause an incursion, so they just summarily executed him.
Yeah, and he was just cool with it. I don't know.
Just to make sure there was no incursion happen. Yeah, Doctor Strange is even kind of cool with it. I'm like, Really? And so yeah,
He's just like, I'm ready.
He dies by the words "I'm sorry" from Black Bolt. Why is Black Bolt not immune to his own power?
I don't have a good answer for that. But
why is he not immune to his own power? Why like does she know to cover his mouth? Also, I sent you a meme this morning. If Mr. Fantastic was the smartest person in the universe, he would have just told, "Hey, Black Bolt knows how to find your kids. Listen to what he has to say." That's what he would have said if he was actually the smartest person in the world. Black Bolt knows. Listen to what he says. Instead of like threatening him with Black Bolt, and then she just like mouths him shut.
Well, that's like a plot ruiner, though. That's you're being the movie police here. That's how you ruin a movie.
Well, no, but like he just like the Illuminati just dies like too fast.
Well,
like,
okay, so
because they're supposed to be the Super Avengers. She just kills them like by herself, and Mr. Fantastic dies in a fantastic way. He just like it's like a spring just unraveling. It was kind of great. It was amusing and horrifying at the same time.
Yeah, I think this is where a lot of people are going to have the kind of horror thing. So, Wanda does her dream walking, and she gets to her alternative self in Universe 818, and she just beelines it to where they are exactly. She just, I guess, knew where they were. It wasn't really explained. She just kind of went there, and she starts fighting Ultron robots, I guess.
Which I guess Reed Richards built in this universe?
Yeah. So here's my problem with that.
Since he's the smartest person in the world?
Yeah, I have a problem here. After she comes out of the smoke, after she's like fighting all these, and she's all bloody. Like, where'd she get this blood from? There's blood all over.
It looks cool. Like, Ultron robots would have been the easiest thing to fight instead of all these.
She also breaks the fourth wall.
Top tier Avengers.
She breaks the fourth wall when she's taking over herself. She looks directly into the camera.
I liked that. I like that a lot. Too. Like that was one of my favorite sequences in the movie. There's a couple of sequences where I thought were my favorite. When she was being taken over by our version of Wanda, like she's like the house is like moving, and then she sees like an ocean and like her cup.
The picture frame.
Her picture frame looks at her like it's really cool. I mean, like I guess it's meant to be scary or whatever, but it was really cool.
It was really cool.
Like I wasn't scared. I'm like, wow, that's really neat. Like just like your body's being taken over by your alternate self and just weird stuff's happening around you. It was really, really well done. There's a couple really awesome scenes in this movie, and that scene was one of them. And like her looking at the camera was fine. Like I mean, like it wasn't like a joke.
That's a Sam Raimi thing.
Yeah,
Sam Raimi did it. It was like
You're gonna look at the camera.
You're gonna look at the camera, and then you're gonna keep looking.
But yeah, so this is where the cool fight happens. This is where Wanda really, it's true to the comics. She really is this. She is this
super strong. Yeah.
She just pretty much did, like, as strong as you thought, like, Miss Marvel was in her movie, where she pretty much seems like she could have soloed Thanos. Like, she gets destroyed pretty much by Wanda. I don't think she really does anything. She caused the most trouble for her, but, like, especially the other ones. Black Bolt immediately dies.
Yeah, Black Bolt immediately dies. So does Mr. Fantastic.
The way he uses his powers is he screams, and she's just like, "What mouth?" And then he just blows himself up. He yells inside his head.
Yeah, why is he like immune? And why was the skin on the front of his mouth strong enough?
His beard? To stop it?
To stop it and to bounce back through his skull. Like, usually like a skin is less, I don't know. It should have still broken that his mouth. I don't know.
Well, maybe they just, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you.
Like I said, I think it was a metaphor for how bad the Inhumans went.
Well, this is
it was my favorite kind of like an in-joke.
My favorite line of the movie is here, where like Wanda takes a dig, where John Krasinski, who plays Mr. Fantastic, Wanda asks him, "Do you have kids?" He says, "Yes," and she says, "Is their mother like around or something like that?" And he says, "Yes, she is." And then she looks good. There'll be somebody left to raise her. Like that was just like, oh, that was such a good line. Just like, because you're dying, you're gonna die here.
You're gone. You're just gonna turn into a bunch of funfetti.
Yeah, and then he pretty much turns into funfetti immediately and dies. Black Bolt dies immediately. and then it's pretty much just Miss Marvel and Captain Britain
Captain Carter, yeah.
fighting, and it was a decent fight, but ultimately they really didn't do anything to Wanda. They kind of just like
I don't understand how Miss Marvel couldn't do anything, because she's like able to fly through starships. She's like super power. She's up there in the most powerful people.
This isn't Brie Larson. This is not Brie Larson's Miss Marvel. This is an alternative version of it.
So
right?
alternate version is way less powerful for some reason. I assume she became Captain Marvel the same way.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying. So, I don't know.
But like a statue falls on her and she's dead. I'm like, shouldn't like I would have been a little bit more satisfied if Wanda just took her apart completely, atom by atom. A statue falling on her just doesn't seem like. So what? She's like stronger than Hulk. Like,
yeah.
I don't like a thing falling on like that. Why does that bother her? Like in the least, I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. I got
maybe she's playing dead. She's like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna like pretend like I'm dead.
She definitely died. She definitely killed all of them.
Yeah. I know. Except for Mordo, we didn't see anything happen to Mordo.
No, but there is. I want to talk about Patrick Stewart here for a little bit. Mm-hmm. He gets outplayed with mind games to Wanda, which really shows how strong she is too, because he's one of the most, we all know him even in the movies as being one of the strongest like mental users, and he just gets destroyed. He pretty much just gets his neck snapped, it was kind of terrifying the way it happened.
Yeah, that was a really cool shot too, just like that rubble on that white background was cool looking. Really cool. And then like the red smoke comes in and Wanda just like is like a witch hag thing, like and just snap. But it's just like the mental version. Like, why did that kill him in real life? I don't know.
The Marvel the comic book stuff. You don't ask questions.
I don't know. It was kind of like, oh, really? Like,
I do think they should just let Patrick Stewart rest at this point. Like, they won't let him die in Star Trek, from my understanding, and he's died 4 times in the Marvel movies. He's like let him just rest. Why does he gotta? They keep bringing him back. Like, he had a good closing in Logan. Logan was a fantastic movie. It's one of the best superhero movies I think ever created, and he died in that one.
Logan's great.
Just let him go. Just let him be. He's an old man now. Like, just let him be himself. Hang out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think it was just, speaking of them killing him in Star Trek, they technically did kill him in season 1 of Star Trek Picard, but they put his like mental image into a robot, so like he remembers everything about himself.
Okay.
But he's a robot now. But in season 3, they're probably gonna kill him and the rest of the TNG cast, because that's what they do. In season 1 of Picard, they brought Picard back, they killed him. They brought Hugh back, which is a side character from Next Generation. He's in like 2 episodes. They killed him in Picard. They brought Data back, they killed him. In season 2, they brought Q back, they killed him. And now, so now next season they're bringing back the next gen cast, so they're just probably to kill them. That's probably
soon all will be dead.
Yeah, soon they'll all be dead.
But yeah, so
that's my guess.
That's pretty much that sequence for the most part. And now America Chavez, she goes. I keep wanting to say Carrie. Wanda keeps going to. She goes to America, and they got to run with Rachel McAdams, who we haven't really mentioned. That's kind of like been in this movie the entire time. She's kind of like Doctor Strange's love interest,
sort of, but she never gets with Doctor Strange in any universe. In their universe, at the beginning, you said he was at her wedding, watching her get married, and in this universe, he died.
What an awful! By the way, awful wedding to go to. Like that. Why would you go? I would not go to that. Anyway,
and like people pestering him about like, oh, was the snap really the way to do it? And it's just like, Captain Marvel could have single-handedly killed Thanos, but no. Out of 4 billion ways, out of 4 billion futures, the only way was to let him have the time stone.
Comic book stuff. Don't question logic. Stop questioning. Your brain's gonna explode. Stop it.
I'm gonna black bolt myself.
Can you imagine if you did that? We'd have video recording of you turning into a black hole.
Black bolt.
But yeah, so then they start this. Then what happens? They go to like an incursion planet or incursion universe.
Well, no, they go to the book. Wanda gets America, And the MacGuffin of getting the antithesis to the Darkhold is dead immediately. They never get to actually use the book, find out what it's capable of. Book just dies immediately. The America getting scared opens up a portal. They end up in like an incursion world where almost everyone's dead. And
Yes.
Scarlet Witch takes America back to her universe where she's on the mountain with Chang, no Wu, no Wong. Wong. I was Wong about his name.
You are Wong.
Yeah, with Wong and Scarlet Witch and her like 4 like demon things. They're just kind of guard the temple or whatever.
Yeah, just standard bad guy, standard bodyguard that does nothing. Just a thug.
They just kind of stand there. Yeah, they're just thug monsters.
They really don't do anything. Like they literally don't do anything.
They kind of die. They throw rocks and they die.
They threw 1 rock and it didn't kill Wong.
And then they dropped the second rock, so I guess they didn't technically throw it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really do much. They were cool looking monsters, though. I mean, I wish I get to see a little bit more of them do something other than just kind of stand.
Yeah, but what are they gonna do? Like, they didn't have any powers. They were just like things
Yeah.
that looked like Hulk that were black and red.
Yeah. Oh,
They just punch something.
This is where the movie starts to fall apart for me a little bit, because she just needs America Chavez there to take her power. America Chavez is there for like hours, and Wanda doesn't kill her.
Well, she can't. Maybe she can't kill her. Man, logic.
It's just like I don't know, because I mean I'm assuming it's not like minutes that she's there, because it seems like it takes them a while to find other Doctor Strange and the confrontation. Like I doubt that confrontation happens as fast as they said it happened. As it happens in the movie. There's usually assumed other time is passing, at least.
I would think so. I
would say at least an hour, if not multiple hours, from the time they're transported to the incursion planet to the time where Doctor Strange performs some casual necromancy.
Yeah. So we get to our final story beat, I guess, is Doctor Strange meeting himself, who has his alternative self that has the Darkhold. I guess, and they fight, and this is where the rest of the movie, I feel like Sam Raimi just kind of like, he's like, this is what we're doing, nobody's gonna question me. They fight and they start using, this was cool, the music notes.
It was really cool. It was probably my favorite sequence of the entire film.
Yeah, like, it was Doctor Strange versus Doctor Strange using music notes.
Using music notes as like exploding runes. It was such a cool scene. Like, I wish it would have gone on a little bit longer, because it was such a cool idea. But I mean, like, maybe that's just the magic of it. He just did it enough so it was cool, and they moved on. But I could have used a couple more like slow-mo exchanges of that, because that was very Doctor Strange. Because you get Doctor Strange versus Doctor Strange, and letting Doctor Strange shine, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Doctor Strange sure shined.
although, like, it's funny in the trailer, the dark Doctor Strange isn't played nearly as dark in the film as he was in the trailer.
No, they toned him back.
They toned him back a lot. Like, he was just talking like regular Doctor Strange. Whereas
he just looked a little darker. His hair's a little messed up. He's wearing darker clothes.
But it's like in the trailer, all his line deliveries are just evil, like, and just evil Doctor Strange. And then he played it like completely different in the actual film. Like,
yeah, I think they editing some stuff a little bit.
They toned it down from the trailer.
Yeah. He gets the Darkhold. Our Doctor Strange got the Darkhold.
Oh yeah, he gets yeeted out the window that's right behind you, Brian. And
yes,
lands on a
literally this window. This
window. Yeah. Brian's fixed it since then.
Yeah, I fixed it. It wasn't that hard.
Brian lives in the Incursion universe. There's lots of glass.
But yeah, and even the way this Doctor Strange died, darker than most Marvel movies.
Yeah, just getting impaled.
Getting impaled on a fence.
On a fence, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what that sequence says.
Well, actually, we never talked about the initial sequence where America Chavez was running with other Doctor Strange, because his corpse is left over in the original universe.
Oh, the opening. This is the opening. You're talking about the opening sequence
we
of the
need
movie.
to mention the opening sequence because that's important.
That's pretty important to the movie.
That's pretty important because this is the part where Doctor Strange performs some casual necromancy on his dead self in his universe.
Yeah, so there's a Doctor Strange at the opening sequence of the movie. I don't know what universe he's from, but it's another Doctor. It's other Doctor Strange running around with America Chavez.
It's Ponytail universe where he got the ponytail.
Yeah, he has a ponytail, and they're fighting in the in between place where they're the in between verse. I don't know, still don't know what it's called, and he dies to Wanda monster that she summons, and America goes to where our Doctor Strange is and brings the corpse of Doctor Strange with her, or he kind of just falls towards the portal.
Her portals have like a vacuum effect, so he just got vacuumed through the portal with her.
Yeah. And he gets buried until he's not buried anymore.
Doctor Strange buries him and Doctor Strange unburies him.
Which was also a cool line where Rachel McAdams' character says like, but you don't have a Doctor Strange in your universe, and he's like, who said they have to be alive? And he resurrects Doctor Strange and gets like in trouble by death. That's definitely gonna come back. There's no way they're gonna ignore that because some voice was like, this is forbidden, and he somehow still controls it. So there's no way that's not going to happen again.
Well, see, like this is also like one of my favorite sequences in the film. Whenever he's like coming to grips with the necromancy part, when he like gets all the demons and makes them his cape, that was
awesome.
A really great shot. And the thing is, like, necromancer is one of my favorite classes to play when we play D&D type games or like any kind of fantasy game. So necromancer is my class. So, like, seeing some casual necromancy on the big screen was pretty awesome for me.
It was done really well too. This is just Sam Raimi being Sam Raimi. That was a Sam Raimi thing.
Yeah, and then like also we just saw some other like really classic D&D type spells because we saw like mage hands being used at the fight with Shumagorath because they used
at the start.
Yeah, he used mage hand to pull up a street post and poke out his eye. Like that was pretty cool. I'm like, mage hand, that's totally a D&D spell.
D&D thing. There was some D&D stuff in here.
It was really cool. It was like we totally had mage hand happen, and we had some awesome casual necromancy.
Yeah, and the last part with Zombie Strange, it was just really cool. It was really cool the way he like captures this cape of like these dead,
demons were
myths.
These demons were like tormenting the corpse, saying you can't do this, you can't, and then he's just like, nah, you're gonna do what I say, and then they're like, oh crap, they're trying to get away from him, and he just like makes
turns him into this cape that he starts flying with. He's like doing flips and stuff. It looks really cool. He's like they're absorbing
and all these like demon arms, like the clasp for the cape. It was
really cool. Good job, Sam Raimi, on that.
Good job, Sam Raimi.
Actually, overall, just props to Sam Raimi. I know, like towards the Spider-Man 2 and 3, people weren't as enthused with, but
that was studio meddling from what I've heard.
I think after watching this movie, in terms of superhero directors or people that have directed superhero movies, I'm putting Sam Raimi in the top 3.
Yeah, I'm putting Sam Raimi because I mean the good parts of the movie were because of Sam Raimi in this film. I was worried it would be bad because directing was really bad in Spider-Man 3, really bad.
Well, it's like if you know Sam Raimi, you can pick out the parts in this movie where it's like Sam Raimi did this. This was Sam Raimi's idea.
Yeah, like the like moving cam like through the stairway. That was a very Sam Raimi like demon view type thing that he used in Evil Dead. His touch was very felt in this movie, and I felt like maybe his hands were super tied up in maybe Spider-Man 2 and 3, like because doesn't feel anything like it. Like I was scared of Sam Raimi directing this, and this movie is as good as it is because of Sam Raimi. I wish they had a better writer on this film because the writing was a little bit rough with a story so close to the overall theme of Shang-Chi.
Well, I think a lot of the problems with these movies now is that it's getting difficult to write them because you can't just have, like, Shang-Chi felt weak. The story didn't feel good. because it was just him. It was kind of just him. These movies are starting to need like multiple MCU characters in them. There's a lot they're really starting. They're not grounded stories anymore, like they were. Like Iron Man 1 was a grounded kind of like a human we can relate to the movie type of thing. Doctor Strange and these newer movies are getting to a point where it's like they need to start dealing with the multiverse. There's hundreds of millions of versions of everybody, so it's getting harder to write these, I think.
Yeah, overall it was pretty good. It just, like I said at the up top, the movies don't really connect. Like Phase 4 just seems like it's a bunch of just random stuff.
They haven't figured it out.
Like I don't know what's going on. We're like so many TV shows and like 5 or 6 movies now because Eternals.
It's like they're connected, but not to one grand story.
Yeah, I mean they still exist in the same universe, but like they don't seem to care as much. It's really weird.
Well, there's also there's going to be making more Avengers movies, and there's characters that they haven't even introduced yet. Like I know, there's a person that's rumored at least, or maybe it's not rumored. It might be confirmed that the next Iron Man is going to be Braveheart, who is a girl Iron Man, and he gets trained by Tony Stark as being the AI. I think she's going to be in the Avengers. There's a lot of these characters have like Shang-Chi is the first one really that's a new character that's going to be part of the the newer version of the Avengers.
America Chavez could be too, because at the end of the movie she's learning how to use magic. Like whenever Benedict Cumberbatch wants out, like she could just be the new Doctor Strange. She could be the new Sorcerer Supreme. Plus she actually has powers.
Well, she's also they are making it. We do know that at least towards they showed us at the end of the movie. Doctor Strange they are going to make another movie of Doctor Strange. I don't know when we're going to get it, but the movie does say Doctor Strange will return. So we're going to get another Doctor Strange movie, I guess. I don't know when.
I hope it's not another like 8-year wait.
It's probably going to be 8 years. I mean, think about the VFX. This movie was very heavy in VFX. How long do you think it took to make these? Like wasn't like a choreographed Shang-Chi fight scenes. These are very intense VFX shots.
But the thing is, Shang-Chi, the last half was all VFX shot. It was like the last half of the movie was one long VFX shot.
Yeah, but it's just like that's half. Doctor Strange, the whole thing was like some pretty intense stuff going on. But yeah. I see what you're saying. So,
but at least in Doctor Strange, you could see what's going on. In Shang-Chi, it was just like there was so much CGI barf on the screen, I didn't know where to look. I'm just like, I'm getting bored.
It was just kind of like
it was overwhelming. It was so overwhelming in the way that it's just so much is happening on screen. I was bored at the end of Shang-Chi because I'm like, I can't really follow anything that's happening. It's just too much.
Yeah. So good job to Sam Raimi. Good job to Elizabeth Olsen. I watched an interview where she said she was uncomfortable being a villain, but I think she did a great job.
Yeah, she did a great job being a villain. I mean, I hope she's redeemed. I hope she's like back on the good side now. There was definitely a big magical poof as the thing was coming down. So she's definitely still, alive and kicking. Like rocks falling on Scarlet Witch is about as convincing of her dying as it was on Captain Marvel.
Yeah, she's definitely not dead. I think what we want moving forward now with these movies is we need to start tying them in with a big bad.
Yeah,
Khan the Conqueror needs to start, or whoever they decide. If it's not him, and that they're just going to keep him to Loki.
The next,
they need to start doing something.
Kang's going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That's the next time we're seeing him for sure.
When does that come out?
Next year, I think.
Okay. I know we have Thor, another Thor movie, and we have Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
And then we've also got Wakanda Forever, I think is also supposed to be slated for end of this year too, maybe?
Really? I don't know. That's going to be that's a tough one to do. That's a tough one to do.
Which is weird because, Chadwick Boseman has passed, and there's been like very little news, but I think they're done shooting the movie. But I don't know who's like if they recast.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
If they recast,
it's gonna be a tough one to. I'd be very worried if I was making that movie. You lost your main character.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go, and like I didn't love the first Black Panther either. So I mean, it's just kind of like.
I liked Michael B. Jordan. He was cool. I mean, the movie wasn't terrible. I liked it more than Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it more than Shang-Chi also. I mean, Shang-Chi's pretty bottom of the barrel for MCU films.
As a film as a whole, it was not that good. The fight scenes were cool.
Well, I mean, the first half of the movie was good when the fight scenes were like real.
Yeah, and then they weren't.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's any ending credit scene.
Clea
Charlize Theron
is
whoever
Clea.
the heck.
She's Clea. She is.
I don't know who she is.
In the comics, she's like Doctor Strange's actual love interest because, as we saw, Rachel McAdams, he is never hooking up with her in any universe. No. So Clea is his actual love interest in the comics. Like they get.
Who is she? Is she just kind of like another? She's sorcerer person,
niece, cousin of Dormammu. So that's a fun family dinner.
Yeah, that could be fun.
That's a fun family dinner. So you're dating the guy that locked me in a time loop? Well, she like cuts a hole in the fabric of time to take Doctor Strange to the Dark Universe, which is where Dormammu is from, and I guess her, since she's related to Dormammu, to stop an incursion.
I thought what the timekeepers are supposed to do.
Oh, the timekeepers are not doing their job anymore, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Maybe they don't care about the Dark Universe. They only care about like the Earth universe.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I know Loki. They started shooting Loki season 2, so that's pretty cool. Well, I would be cool with just like a Loki movie. Just give Tom Hiddleston and let him be Loki everywhere. Like he's fantastic.
Yeah, he is really good. I wonder if Loki will show up at all in Thor.
Maybe. I would lean towards no.
I mean, probably
I'm
no.
gonna lean towards no.
Probably no, but I mean, he could. I mean,
you never know.
He's been in all the other Thor movies, so might as well get him in there. I'm looking forward to Thor. It'll hopefully be a nice, funny, silly movie like the last Thor movie was. Because man,
the person directing it is number 2 on my list, Taika Waititi. He's number 2 in terms of superhero movies. Nobody's being James Gunn. He's number 1.
Number 1.
He's number 1 in making superhero movies.
Guardians of the Galaxy was really good. Well, number 4 would be the Russos.
Yep, four is Russos.
Because the movies they did were really good. The Captain America: Civil War was great.
Yeah, Russo brothers are number 4 for me for sure. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good movie. I mean, like, I definitely would have rated it higher had the story not been so close to Shang-Chi and had there been more tie-in to like what's going on. Like so many like Phase 4 seems like almost like a
they're figuring it out.
Like a prequel phase because they're just introducing so many new characters.
Yeah, and they got to figure out what they're doing with Spider-Man because Tom Holland said he doesn't want to do it anymore. He wants a break. So, we'll see. We'll see it. Well, then again, Spider-Man's such a weird character because Sony still has like an iron grip over like what they're gonna do. They could just yoink him out.
Yeah, it just seems like so much of Phase 4 is just like phasing characters out.
Yeah,
like
just all over the place.
We're phasing, or the first movie was Black Widow. We already knew she was dead, so we got a movie about her in the past for some reason, and then we've got. The Eternals, which they said the Eternals will return, but also the Eternals bombed, so maybe they won't return. Shang-Chi was okay, but like there was no mention of Shang-Chi in this movie either. Didn't Shang-Chi go hang out with Wong at the end of the first Shang-Chi movie? So like there's like no tie-in. It's a little bit disappointing. Yeah. And then Spider-Man was all about writing out Spider-Man. This movie is about
They literally say in this movie, like, who's Spider-Man? America Chavez says, like, I don't know who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
How does Doctor Strange know who Spider-Man is?
He doesn't know who Peter Parker is. They knew
that's right.
They know who Spider-Man. They just don't know who Peter Parker is. I guess they remember working with Spider-Man, but they don't know who Peter Parker is, which is weird. But
yeah, I don't know. This is a weird limbo thing if you really want to break it down.
Yeah, it's really weird the way you think that because that's what I was saying during Spider-Man. Like, how are they going to include Spider-Man into this when like they're not supposed to know who he is? So it's just their logic isn't super sound in Marvel. Like they did time travel miserably in Endgame, And I think they're doing Multiverse kind of dumb in this, because the fact that evil Doctor Strange from the Incursion universe had the exact same childhood as this Doctor Strange doesn't make sense, because the whole point of the multiverse is that any possible thing that could have happened happened. So like them both having the traumatic event of losing their sister in the exact same way doesn't like super follow.
Yeah. Well, we've been saying it for like probably a year, maybe a year and a half now. It's like I feel like we're kind of done with Marvel, but we keep going to see the stuff because we're still Marvel fans. But like, are we getting to the point where it's like Marvel has died a hero and now is becoming the villain? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. They feel they're still good movies, but like the overall story kind of seems like it's a little falling apart here.
Well, the thing is, Marvel lately, instead of being like really good like they were phase 1, 2, and 3, they're aggressively mediocre.
Aggressively mediocre. Oh man. I don't know about that. I think they're still very good movies. It's just like there's not an overall goal anymore.
Well, that's what I mean. They're aggressively mediocre. They're not like being bad, but they're also not being great. You know what I mean? Like phase 1 had some really bad movies. Like
they were still figuring out how to make a Marvel movie.
Captain America.
At that time.
Well, Captain America 1 and 2 were both pretty bad. Iron Man 2 and 3 were pretty bad. Like some of these early movies were rough. Iron Man 1 was great.
Well, whether they were good or bad, they started bringing them together through the Avengers movies and stuff. These movies, they're actively like distancing themselves from each other.
Yeah, they're spreading things out kind of far, and that's the thing. Like the only movie I thought was objectively bad was Shang-Chi. I mean, Black Widow was okay. Like I said, it's aggressively mediocre. It's okay. Eternals was pretty good. It was probably my favorite until this movie.
You liked Eternals over Spider-Man?
I thought Eternals was pretty good. Like Spider-Man was just kind of like I had a lot of issues with it. Like Eternals was fun and different.
Yeah, you own that. You own that opinion.
I don't know. A lot of people hate Eternals. I thought Eternals was fun. I liked all the.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't think it's Spider-Man bad. I don't think Spider-Man was way better than Eternals in my mind.
I don't know.
Anyway, hey, you can have your own opinion. I'm not gonna fight you on it.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man. It wasn't bad. It just was. It just felt hollow.
Well, the world felt empty.
That's what I mean. The overwhelming, it just felt hollow at the end of the movie. I didn't care. I liked
the vibe of that movie was not very good.
yeah. The vibe of the movie. Eternals was interesting. It was setting up lots of cool stuff, which I like. Eternals actually gave us something. It set things up. Spider-Man just took things away.
It did. Maybe we're just getting too caught up on Spider-Man because maybe even Disney's not sure if they're going to be able to use him again.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a big shrug. Like I said, everything's kind of aggressively okay.
Because Sony has proved, whether you like them or not, is able to create a comic book movie that will do well.
Morbius?
That will make money.
Morbius?
No, Venom.
Venom made money?
Yeah, both Venoms made good money. So if they bring Spider-Man into that, technically they have a Spider-Man versus Venom movie. They don't need Marvel right now.
I guess they don't, but man, that Morbius did not do so good.
Yeah, that's not one I saw, so I don't know. I mean, Jared Leto sucks. I don't like Jared Leto. He got one Oscar, and now everybody holds him at this high level when he's been in everything else. He's sucked in. I don't even know what movie he won an Oscar for.
I get no idea. No idea.
Well, that I think concludes our Doctor Strange madness of multiverse of madness. Mom, our Mother's Day movie.
She wants to.
Our Mother's Day movie for the podcast.
Our Mother's Day Halloween movie. Join us next time for Moon Knight, Marvel's latest TV show, which I haven't finished watching yet.
Well, you will be. I trust you will be.
I will be done.
We'll be ready and prepared
for next time.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you guys have.
Email David at synthaholics@yahoo.com.
Go ahead and do that, and we'll catch you on the ye old flip flop. Mom out.